Right.
what's your way of how's it going, by the way? How's your way of making a number really, really solid? Because I feel like I've had this the same like sticking point, like Denton was saying. For me, it's like sometimes like I'll feel like a number's solid, but I just can't make it solid. Like I know the girl's attracted, and I know that it's just like I know the interaction was good. It could lead to somewhere, but I just couldn't make the number solid. So what's your take on making it more solid?
What sort of things have you tried? So first of all, I go down to a more of a logical level, be like, okay, well, if you're trying numbers, have you tried Instagram? Have you tried Snapchat? Have you tried a fucking different way? WhatsApp? Have you tried those three areas? So every single thing that you're asking for has a different intent behind, right? That's for starters.
Mm-hmm.
So a phone number is more personal than an Instagram, and Instagram is more personal than a Twitter or a Snapchat. So if you try those three things, let's just say, so maybe the girl is more invested in Snapchat than her messages. You don't know, kind of thing. So either you can say what is specific, like, well, I would say to the girl, what's the best way to contact you? And then she'll pretty much give you exactly what she uses the most. That's what I find. Now, I usually do an Instagram if your Instagram funnel is on point. That's very, very fundamental. And you can see that because there's girls, like, say, if mine wasn't on, like, mine's kind of getting there. If my Instagram or my social media is not on point, you can meet and approach a girl outside, our place that we just did. Who's got 190 to that girl. You see how they're two different things. One, you're never going to get a response. One, you are. So one's going to be more solid because she puts a lot more attention, or what she says, how her mind deems that, sort of iMessages is more solid. So that's the first thing I do. Number two, it comes more into the beginning stages. So think about a flower. It's like it all comes down to the seed, how good the soil is before you're asking for the interaction. So don't think about the number as either the final thing. So what I would be doing is investing more into the girl, into the interaction. So being more conscious and more present with that girl. It's like it should be to the point where either not she's asking for the number, but let's just say when you get the number, it's like automatic. You either have a date already set up, right? So that's the thing. It's like you're probably not preceding, which is kind of the idea going back to a plan, preceding the notion, or future projecting, which is having an idea that you're going to do something. So like the other day, I'll give you an example. Sunday I'm out with a bunch of friends, all my social circle. I met these two cute girls. And one of them I started future projecting because I realized that she has the potential to be huge on TikTok. Huge, absolutely, like, huge. And she's scared and insecure. So I kind of found what she was interested in. And then I talked to her about making plans tomorrow for us to go through my TikTok kind of like redesign and rebranding as well as hers. And she's super excited about that. So again, what did I do there? Well, number one, I future projected this idea that we're going to go through hers and do like a marketing plan and all the kind of things, and got her excited about the idea. So emotion, there's a lot more emotions behind it. If it is a dull interaction, there's no emotions, you're unlikely to be successful with that number. So there's got to be high emotions. There's got to be either fun, laughter, you're going to go up and down. I'm sure Denton's talked about the whole range of emotions with that. Number two, find something that she's interested in, which is a commonality. If you're finding nothing that you're actually common with these people, it might be the most randomest shit. You might like Pomeranians. That's what your commonality is, right? So that's another thing that I'm doing. I'm finding mass amount of commonality. So the girl thinks like, oh my God, we're so similar. We're very similar people. Number three, the third thing. It's like, so it's like the other day, another girl on Saturday night, it was like we found that we came from the same high school, like kind of high school area. That's a huge commonality. Now she's going to associate me with that. So it's much more like he's not a random stranger, let's just say. It's like someone that you actually have a deep connection with, talk about all of the problems and all the fun things that happen in that area. And now it's like it's feeling, I got this from the idea, ready? This is a weird fucking analogy, but when people get on cocaine, weird drug, don't recommend it, okay? I'm not recommending it, but when people get on cocaine, what they do is as soon as they take it, they associate straight back to the person that gave them good emotions last. So the person that did the soberest or the person that gave them good emotions, they attach to. The reason why they do that is because the drug does a lot of random shit to your brain. and I don't recommend it, but I'm saying that this happens with people too, not on the drug, just in general. They start to attach a lot of good emotions with someone. They want to stay around that person. And so when there's alcohol involved, when there's just, just a general being, it can be in the daytime too. If you're making someone feel good, they want to be around you more, right? The last thing that I said about a number is going back to that future projecting, which is basically, that is the single greatest thing that you can do. Future projecting on some that you're going to do.
So you do a lot of social circle with your Instagram though, right? So the idea behind you getting them on your Instagram is that when they come on there, they see that you have an amazing life. They want to be a part of it, correct?
Correct. Yes. Well, I put it into, there's two different ways that I do that. I do that with the Instagram funnel, and I do that with the close friends, which is the strategy that I'm working on right now. It's just basically like, if there's girls coming into my life, and then I can put them in my close friends and either give them snippets of value or snippets of comfort that I won't show my general population, my audience. And that is that. So there's a game with inside a game. Let's just think of that. That's like the Inception kind of thing. So what I'll do is, we will go on.
No, dude, you're on a rift. Here, keep going. I'll interject once you're finished.
Yeah. So basically, going back to the Instagram, it's like maybe John, instead of grabbing that number, you want to show her more value and more comfort. So getting that Instagram will show her that, and she'll become more invested. And I recommend everyone on this group to get some sort of social media down pat where you look like, or not look like, where you represent your life in the most truest version of yourself, and learning how to take photos and learning how to have adventures and capture the moment, because this is what people are investing in, So maybe it's like the girl sees you and says like, he's really, really cool. And have you ever heard of a girl giving a guy a shit test? Obviously she's testing the congruence or the realness or what he's presenting himself as to be real. She doesn't have to do that if she sees your Instagram and sees that there's other people following you, you're living that lifestyle that you're representing or showing yourself, and she can kind of guess, well, he's very, very confident here. Go on his Instagram, he's very confident there. Oh, now it's like I can put two and two together. So I definitely recommend, if you're not getting as solid numbers, it's like change it up, start asking for Instagrams only, and get them into the funnel of, the cult of John, let's just say. So it's a lot more easier. And then from there, you're just inviting them to random places.
Can you discuss? Can you go more into like the whole like funnels and everything? It's really, really interesting the way you're framing all of it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I randomly had this thing where I was just like, you're asking girls on dates, asking girls on dates, asking girls on dates, one-on-one. Let's get rid of the idea of COVID. Let's say we're COVID out of it, so COVID's done. It's not going to say that, but it's like what I'm saying is like I stopped asking for dates, right? Because I realized that I could just ask the girls to come to random events, and they would be more willing to come to random events. Like, say, I would be like, yo, we're going to Burnley Pavilion, which is just around the corner. Yo, my buddy's having a place, come here, come there. So every sort of single thing that I did, I would just keep inviting them. And what's that good? It's just showing mass amount of value, mass amount of comfort, mass amount of value, mass amount of comfort. And eventually, whether the girls would say yes the first time or the fifth time, the rate that I was getting was like an 80% time. Every time I met a girl, she would come and do some other cool shit. And again, the idea behind the more time a girl spends with me, the more time she's going to like me. And I want you to have that as like kind of a bullet point on yourself. It's like the more time a girl hangs around me, the more time she's going to like me. And that's the thing I keep repeating always to myself. It's like kind of like a mantra almost. And that's the idea that it's like, okay, well, all I have to do, I don't have to take her on a date. I don't have to take her on a fancy date. You can do that. I'm not saying you can't do that. You can do that. All I have to do is see this person and hang out with her long enough, and she's going to find me attractive. She's going to like my lifestyle. She's going to want to hang out more. So all I have to do is just continuous. And what I do is I go to lots of events, or I go to places. And if you don't have that social circle, it's just about cultivating it and going to the places. So, break that even down. It's like going on Instagram. Everyone has Instagram. They can go and be like, okay, where are the cool people hanging out in that city? They're hanging out at this, and this place. If you don't know who the cool people are, you find the celebrity, say Champagne Papi or Drake or Logan Paul or anyone. Find who they are following in your city, follow them, see where these people go. if they go to Lynx, if they go, we're using Las Vegas, if they go to fucking Encore, if they go to the fucking steakhouse, if they go to Spearmint Rhino, where are the places they can go to? And you go to these places. That's how you're going to cultivate a better social circle, more high value social circle. So from there, it's like if I was going to an event like I was on Sunday, we went to a Valentine's Day singles night. Not what you kind of expect me to hit up like 5 girls and 3 of them come to. Right? They've either got like boyfriends. If I ask for the girl, hey, would you like to go on a Valentine's Day date? I want to fucking take you out to dinner and all. It's like, ugh. It's like I invited them to something else that was cool. A few of them came. We had a fun night. It's like whether I see those girls again or not, it doesn't really matter. And I'm very, very aloof from it. Because I'm in that reality where I just invite them to continuous places, they want to keep hanging out because they're having good times. As I said, they're anchoring good emotions to me. So the biggest thing that I would say is either have your Instagram looking better, which is just getting higher quality photos. And from there, a lot of the time you can still ask for dates. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't ask for dates. There are some girls I take on dates, but a lot of the time just understand that there could be a different way to see this girl not on a date, right? So you might be just be like, oh, let's hang out. Let's go to the beach. Let's go fucking drink. Let's go do it. And that might be like beating your head against the wall. There might be a completely different way that you'll be able to see this girl in more of an environment that it displays you in a lot more higher value or displays a lot more comfort with the girl. And that's doing the exact same process, but a completely different way. So think about that when we're trying to be like, if I get a girl's number, John, I'm like, yo, we have an event, like, even this morning, it's like, yo, I have an event on Tuesday. This girl's down the beach. She's like, oh, cool. I'll be down to come. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Look, I'll message you. She comes or not, doesn't matter. But it's a lot more chance that she will, because I'm talking about yoga and meditation. And it's not something that I'm like taking her on a date. I'm just taking her to do something I'm already going to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's some like really more advanced type stuff. But I definitely see the benefits of working on something like this.
It's like advanced. It's advanced because it's a different concept. Advanced because it's not
exactly.
It feels like an obstacle. It feels like, oh my God, that's daunting. Look at it as a completely different reframe and be like, look at it as being excited about being able to see a whole different realm from a different lens, from a different filter. That's where the exciting part is. Nothing. Building a fucking rocket is hard. But to a rocket engineer, that's not hard at all. So it's just about where you put your concentration, your attention to. Once you put your attention onto this thing, a lot more of it will become easier to you because you'll have your own epiphanies, your own kind of concepts and ideas about it. But just because it's a new thing, I want you to look at it as not an obstacle, right, but more of a thing that you're excited about. Okay, this could be a different thing. I could learn this thing and actually have this attainable skill now. Fuck, that's crazy.
See, that's actually something I had a limiting belief about for a long time, was getting the social circle stuff going. I know that personally for me. Only over the past year did I really, past year and a half, did I really start working on that. I was working on a lot of my business. I was working a lot like cold approach wise. I never really worked on the social circle stuff. I got a really bad taste in my mouth about it because I got a big ego, and then I realized what a dumbass I was being. But like, to be honest, John, we should definitely talk about that when we get back. Like, that's Sam's 110% right too about this.
Yeah.
One thing I will add though, so I actually did have a huge problem with flaking for a lot of years, for the first like 3-4 years. Like, I don't know if Sam ever felt this, but where it's, well, I imagine you have here, especially if you're has knowledge about this. Yeah. So I went through a period of time where I get a ton of phone numbers, but then maybe they wouldn't be necessarily sticking around. They wouldn't be texting back. I didn't know why. And then after a while, this is what I figured out. So you got to understand too that like girls have a lot of stuff going on for them. You're like, you talk to them for maybe like 2 or 3, 5 minutes, something like that. If she's comparing like a value risk assessment to you versus maybe her friend, she's all right. So check it out. So you talked to her maybe 5 minutes. You seem like a cool guy, but she doesn't know if she hangs out with you, you're going to be 100% going to be an uphill win. Like if you're going to be a win, like 100%, because like she only talked to you for 5 minutes. So when she's trying to do a value risk assessment between you versus her friend Sarah's 100% win. Like she hangs out with Sarah, she knows she's gonna have a good time. She hangs out with you, there's a chance of it being creepy and you not being cool. So then she's gonna be like, I'll hang out with Sarah instead. So coming from that place, you have to like do everything in your power to try to push that risk assessment in your direction. So what do? Like Sam said, hang out with them longer. So time plus like, so if you're cool, attractive, authentic person, time's going to equal attraction. So the longer you hang out with somebody, so Sam here can hang out with the girl longer and longer, and the girl will get more and more attractive because he's a cool guy. He doesn't switch up. Authenticity really helps out with this. 2, being funny, being clever, being free of outcome, having a lot of, giving a lot of very masculine sexual vibes. This stuff helps out too. A lot of it's going to come down to the authenticity of time. There's a few other things you can do as well. So when you get the phone number, a lot of times girls will flake you because they think you're a player. If you're too smooth, that's going to be a big problem. So what you want to do is that you want to make them feel like they won you over. So something I'll do oftentimes somewhere in the interaction is like, you know, honestly, I came into this to mess around, but you're actually pretty cool. And I say that every set. I say that some way, form, or fashion. The girl won me over. I didn't really come into this expecting, honestly, to, you know, enjoy the conversation, not to be weird, not to be a dick about it, but you're actually really fucking cool. Yeah. And I'll like leave it alone and I'll get the phone number. Then after the phone number, I'll keep talking to him. So the girl knows that's not a trophy phone number. And 3, also set up the date in person. So it's something a lot of people get wrong. You want to actually hit on the high note. Hit on the high note, hit on the big, hit on the peak. So when you get on the peak of the conversation, grab the phone number, get the date, get the thing set up. Then from there, you can cut it off there. If you end on the peak, the girl's gonna remember the emotional high of the situation as opposed to the emotional lows of it. And then you want to execute on those points. That's my way of getting rid of flakes. I like Sam's way a lot though. This is actually something I'm working on currently with Sam. Sam's a G with this, with the social media stuff. And that actually helps, that helps out massively. Having a really cool social circle and social media presence. Having stuff looking like it's going for you, having a purpose. If you guys don't have a purpose, if you guys don't have anything you're striving for, definitely 110% find it. Definitely start chasing something that you love. Because once you start doing that, the girls get drawn to you.
King, give me the throne. I need a queen, she better than most. I need a palace, I need a horse. If you want gold, then I am the source. I need a crown, I need a sword. I got my team, we going to war. You are my kids, you be my pawns. We don't relate, you taking a loss. I am a king, give me the throne. I need a queen, she better